If you've ever been overly excited for hoodie weather, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. An honorable mention to all of you that liked Dennis singing the 50s Batman style song and then adding Statman in. You can smash up the like for that again as well. We're back. It's Thursday. There's more trading to be done. Tesla reported its earnings and is literally popping off. So we're going to break it all down. 13's back here. He told me he's ready to bank today. So I hope you all are ready.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning, folks, and happy Thursday, October 24th. Welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. I'm your host, and I'm here in the back with 13. And good morning, Shannon. I'll tell you what, Zinger Buddy has been in the office already. He was on the back of my chair staring at the bird, but now something else has got his attention, and he's moved on. So grass is apparently greener in the other room, or has more things for him to chase. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and bring on 13. 13, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing okay. I might be falling a little bit under the weather here. May have picked up an illness from one of my kids picking it up from school. So we'll see how this pans out. Hopefully I don't get too under the weather before the weekend. I'm going to try and make it here as long as I can, and hopefully I recover over the weekend and then be back here Monday ready to go.
Okay, well, you sound great here today. Might I suggest some emergency vitamin C shot to the face and also a hoodie? I know you're in Texas.
Already got the airborne in me, ready to go.
Airborne, emergency, it's all the same. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the market here. We're going to start with the SPY. Tesla to the rescue, it appears. Yesterday, we actually got what resembled a sell-off, even though the buyers did step in there in the afternoon and bring us up off the lows. We still closed lower, still felt like a sell-off, still gave us a red candle on the daily. Worth noting that this red candle pretty much traded down to the 20-day SMA and bounced. So now we're about 2 points under the 582.30 level. That was the recent intraday level that we outlined that had really kind of come into play when the on the way back down and back up here. So we'll see if we find some resistance there. Trend line right above that, had that eyeballed here, 584.5. So we'll see if we get there on the SPY. You got anything here on this one?
Yeah, looking pretty good yesterday with selling off, blowing through some previous all-time high levels. Even tested the 20-day SMA, but then we reversed and started trading back up. Ended up closing beneath our 580.33 previous all-time high that we were saying was the bottom of the consolidation we were seeing over the past week. Now we're trading back above that in the pre-market. So to your point about that 580.230, that's still back in play. If we continue to see upside as a result of Tesla's earnings, then we could end up testing that as resistance, maybe even have a breakout like we did on, I think that was Tuesday, I'm sorry. So that's what I'll be looking for. We're looking for continued support from 580.33 and that resistance from 582.30. Which one's going to falter first? We'll have to wait and see.
Okay. The segue there, pretty easy. We're just going to go ahead and talk about Tesla. Then we can go ahead and break down some of those movers and come back here. This is going to be your Tesla chart here. You can see we were actually, Jay Rice here real quick. I'll just start with this comment because this hits a lot of it. Nothing not to like on that report. The street was leaning very bearish. Indeed, that is the case. What's that? Including me.
I was looking for 200.
Yep, there you go. Bear in the airport. Bear's on his way to Detroit. Bear, safe flight. Safe flight on all that. Are you on a Boeing plane? Just saying, safe flight. Okay. As far as Tesla goes here, it actually did look like it kind of wanted to break lower here. I know we set up a trade with Anne-Marie for the double butterfly. The 200-day is pretty much right at 200. So that actually looked like a pretty awesome level for this to trade down to, but the report was too good. Street leaning bearish, that kind of set the table for this to be offside. And as you can see here, we popped up to about 245. This is actually in the middle of a consolidation area that we were in at the beginning of October. In the process of doing this, we popped over the 100, the 50, and the 20-day moving average. Those are all likely going to be support levels if the stock comes back in here today. If we take a look at the intraday chart here, you can see exactly how this happened. We had the initial number here, which sent Tesla up. Once the conference call started, Tesla took another leg up. It actually closed on the highs, and so far it's drifted higher today. So when I actually showed up here, I had that same pre-market level marked off, and so far it's actually drifted higher. So I am looking to trade this one. I think that my gut tells me that it's probably going to pop a little bit out of the gate. But it's likely to be volatile today. So I think we actually might have some pretty good movement with this. Volume should be pretty good on this. So Tesla looking pretty interesting here. There are a slew of price targets. Actually, I think these are maintains underweight. Yeah, I'm not sure how many of the ratings were actually changed. Instead, it was just the price targets. A lot of analysts playing catch up, as Jay mentioned. The street was kind of bearish going into this. It looks like they may be correcting course at this point. And then just to put a cherry on this, the EPS numbers here. Q3 2024 adjusted EPS 72 cents. That beat the 58-cent estimate. Big beat there. Sales missed slightly here, so you had a little bit of that mixed report. And Tesla up 14.5%. So 13. What do you make here of Tesla's report?
Well, if we just ignore the moving averages, the simple moving averages like the 20 and the 50, the levels that I'd be looking for upside and downside would be 50 to the upside and 232 to the downside. That would be the range I'm looking at for this to trade within. So basically, if we start seeing this after the open, we start seeing it trade up, I'd be thinking 250 is probably where we're going to see the most resistance. Not saying we can't break through that, but that's where I'm going to be looking at for resistance. If it reverses there and we start to trade lower, if we exclude the 20-day SMA, which I currently have at 234, we'll call it 235 because it's like 234.96 cents. I think the 232 level that I've had marked off here for a long time is going to be the level for me to watch if we get that downside.
Okay, and that is the bottom of the wick of that candle that creates that gap down there. So, okay, interesting stuff. We'll see here what happens on Tesla. I had no position for the print, unlike Dennis, so I was actually able to enjoy my evening last night and not stay locked into my computer screen. Love you, Dennis. But yeah, I'd be looking to trade this here today, not cashing out any position from yesterday. Okay, let's talk about some of the movers here, that we can come back and talk about any of the other stocks that you folks want to take a look at. First one we're going to start with is Xena, the Warrior Princess, ticker ZENA. This is Zenatech, not Xena, the Warrior Princess. Just having some fun here. Zenatech shares are trading higher after Xenadrone subsidiary acquired a U.S. design patent pertaining to the drone design used in Xenadrone 1000 product. Okay, so got some drone news here. Xena's popping, stock's up 65%. Volume looks great. Stock came from $1.80 yesterday. Actually found some resistance here at 320 here today. Looking at some of the stats here, I actually did not have a float reading here. We're absolutely crushing the volume numbers. 13, what say you on this?
I had to look elsewhere for the float. It's 1.93 million shares. Yeah, they got this movement on the securing that patent from their parent company. There's no revenue with this company. They're still very early. They actually recently IPO'd. So I don't have a whole lot of financial data and other statistics that are readily available to me. But I just have some levels. So if we're above VWAP right now, which is great, the MACD is curling over and crossing. So we could see some downside out of the gate. But if we turn around and start trading back up, aside from the pre-market high, which is 326, I'm looking at the levels of 340, 390, 465, and 540 as upside targets. Should we continue to it breaks out and goes up.
540. Yeah, see, Joey's saying the float here on FinViz said 17 mil. So that's one of the reasons why we don't have one here. If we pull a float number and we don't feel great about it, it's not printed here. Float is a notoriously difficult metric to pin down, but that's okay. We're going to figure out how this trades once it opens here. No position for me. I love that it's coming back to the VWAP. I love that it's not breaking down and going lower here. I'd actually like this to kind of bounce from here, to be honest.
I was using FinViz as well. The shares outstanding is 17.3 million. The float is 1.93.
There you go. Tony saying, so what you're saying is you missed out on a ton of money, unlike Dennis. Yo, first of all, Tony, if I compared myself to Dennis, I would be disappointed every day. Oh, let's face it. Dennis is Dennis is amazing and has been doing this for a long time. More specifically, to answer your question seriously, though, did not necessarily have a great feeling about Tesla, didn't trade it for the print, figured, you know what, if I'm going to trade this, I'll trade it after the print. I don't really need to expose myself to a binary event. The other thing is that Dennis is incredibly active, so he will often be scalping in the after hours. I'm sure his family's calling him for dinner, and he's saying, one sec. But Tesla had to be babysit last night. All jokes aside, congratulations to him. He's really, really good.
Tony,
okay.
no, I'm not. This is a long-term hold for me, so I'll be holding this for at least a year. Tony was asking how I'm going to sell my UPS. No, I'm not.
We're going to get to UPS. So
yeah,
as soon as we do, this is good. I'm glad we've got multiple Tonys. The tale of the Tonys here today. We're actually going to get to UPS here as soon as we run through some of these movers. All right. Xena here right at the VWAP. Let's see if this gives us a trade. The other stock that's on the movers here today, big one, CCTG. This is not one I'm familiar with. CCSC Technology International. Okay. Stock was under $2 yesterday, popped to $4. I didn't see any news earlier. Let's see if we have any more here.
We traded this one at some point. I think it may have been in February.
Yeah, the most, yeah. I don't really see anything recent here. I don't remember trading it. Maybe that was one that was just on the movers list that I didn't actually trade. That's possible. Nonetheless, I can't place this one here. You can see we've had a pretty big move up to $4. We've retraced almost 50% of that move. Actually, it looks like just a little bit more than 50% of that move. So we'll see where we end up here today. As far as the actual structure here, 2.875 million shares on the float. This is pretty much right in the butter zone for some of these stocks that we've been trading. 13, what do you think here?
You've got all the things that I was going to talk about, except I couldn't really get a good read on their cash position. So I have needs cash and question mark. Don't know if that's the case with them or not, but because I don't have any information on it, I'm just going to assume that they probably are going to need it, being the type of company that it is. So I think they may need to raise cash, but I can't verify that because I don't have enough data.
Okay. There you go. We'll see how it trades here today. The next two here on the movers list are going to be the TSLT and the TSLL. These are going to be those levered Tesla ETFs. Shout out to Crow. I think that he mentions these often when we're trading this stock back and forth, but that's why these two are on here. That just trades with Tesla, so really nothing to cover there.
This much easier ways of trading Tesla instead of actually going in Tesla and getting their shares that are over $200.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. All right, next one here is going to be TVGN, and this one should be familiar because boy, oh boy, was this a big mover yesterday. Huge volume, huge move. I know a lot of you folks traded this one yesterday. We actually traded up in the after-hour session and then held it here in the pre-market before taking another leg up. Now, we did find some resistance there at 340. We did dip beneath the VWAP here today. We might be able to reclaim that here, TVGN. If I flip over to the news, you can see we've got nothing fresh here from today. So this sure feels like a continuation relative volume move from yesterday. 13, what say you on TVGN?
Not one of the ones that I covered, but we've already seen and talked about this before. This has a 31.5 million share float. Moving on the news, like you said, of joining artificial intelligence via Microsoft for startups. Don't really have anything to add to that. I don't even think I've covered enough of it. So let me put it on my screen. I can give you some levels once I've marked them off. I'll do that later on.
Yep, take your time. We'll come back. I think this will be in play today, so no rush there. Real quick, Carmen saying for Xena, for the Warrior Princess, per a service I pay for, there are 0 shares available to borrow, and the borrow rate is 167.9%. Wowzers. I appreciate that. That might tell some other traders some information there. I'd be looking for this on the long side. We'll see if we get it for one of those trades, but appreciate that, Carmen. Appreciate you sharing that. Okay, the next mover here actually does have a catalyst, and this is going to be ticker QS. This is Quantumscape. I know there are a number of folks in here that have traded Quantumscape before. Quantumscape shares are trading higher after the company said it has begun producing low volumes of its first B sample cells and has begun shipping cells for automotive customer testing. So the stock up 20% here today. Looks like it found some resistance at 680, came back down to the VWAP. We'll see how this ends up shaking out. This one of the bigger floats, 371 million shares in the float. So are we going to get the movement that we saw in the pre-market? Probably not with such a high float in a stock that trades that thick. But that's what's going on here. What do you got on ticker QS?
Well, despite the large float, and you know how I feel about those, this may end up being a short squeeze. We have 15% of the float shorted, 11.25 days to cover. So the movement we're probably going to get is going to be likely a squeezing movement. The float's really large. You know, we could, like I say every time with these large floats, could see some pops, could see some squeezing, but I think ultimately these are going to slowly leak throughout the day in between those pops. It does look like, based on their cash position, they do have about a quarter of cash left, and then they're going to have to either make an offering of some kind. Don't know. I mean, they've done 4 offerings since they've been on the market, so it's not unlike them to do that. So yeah, I think until the end of the year they're good, but next year we're going to probably have to really look at their financials and see what's going to happen with that. But it's encouraging that they're trying to get their B sample cells out for testing. I know that Samsung has been doing that with their solid state batteries, sending it out for testing and for the automotive customers. So solid state batteries are ramping up. We're getting close.
Okay. And also it said in here, this also has a partnership with Volkswagen. So yes. Keep that in mind as well. Okay, sweet. Next here, let me go back up to the chart. Boom, boom, boom.
Real
Next.
quick.
Yeah.
All right, Alpha. No, I'm not in Joby. I'm in Archer, the rival.
I am also, by the way, I have a little, I mean, I wouldn't even consider myself in it. I literally have 150 shares. So I have that just to track it, barely in Archer, but just kind of holding on to it for a while. Okay, next here on the list in terms of a mover is going to be ticker BOF. This is Branchout Food. You can see this traded above 3, came all the way back here to 2, retraced almost the entire move. We're actually below the VWAP as well. Take a look here on the news feed. Branchout Food says with the commissioning of its production facility in Peru and a surge of major customer reorders, Branchout expects 3.8 million in net revenue for Q1 2025, which is up 150% year over year, and it expects to achieve positive cash flow in the same quarter. So getting a pretty good PR there about its cash position. We'll see where this one ends up going here today. It does have some short interest on it, not really all that crazy. And when we take a look at the float, it's right in that area, 3.3 million. 13, what do you think here on Branchout, ticker BOF?
Yeah, I didn't really cover this one. I guess when I read this headline, that's kind of makes me think, okay, well, we might get some movement today, but this would be something to set up for when they do report their Q1. That would be a kind of an upcoming catalyst. If they are expecting this, and then I'd be curious to see if they can actually achieve that and or even exceed it. But I didn't cover this one, so I don't know enough about the company. Looks like they have less than $1 million in cash. They burn about that much a quarter, so it seems like they're going to have to raise money at some point.
Okay, good stuff there. All right, Peggy, Tesla. So a couple of things.
We didn't cover Peggy, I don't think.
Yeah, no, that's what we're going to do here. Peggy is next. This is Pineapple Energy. You can see we did spike earlier here on volume. That was news related, if I'm not mistaken. Pineapple Energy's Sun Nation subsidiary completes the foundational engineering work for an 8.46 megavolt series of commercial projects, collectively valued at 11 million. So that's what's popping it here, up 17%. Quick look at the short interest. There's some, but it's not crazy. Quick look at the float, 307K, low floater on deck. What do you think, 13?
This company has done a couple of reverse splits this year. They did a 1 for 15 on June 12th, and they did a 1 for 50 last week on October 17th. This company still needs cash. But seeing that they've completed that fundamental engineering work, and I believe this is one of those green energy plays, right? They are doing work for 8.4
sustainable solar energy, more specifically.
Okay. So, you know, they're a ways away. I don't even think, okay, so 13.5 million revenue. That's not enough to break even quite yet for them. So they still have a ways to go, you know, to be sustainably profitable. They may need to raise cash as a result of that. I don't think the short interest is correct. I'm getting really weird readings, so I'm not sure how shorted this is, but the fact that it's 307,000 shares in the float is going to make this very easy to push around.
And we recently had a reverse split 1 for 50 on October 17th. That's going to be why some of those short interests are all effed or goofed or whatever you want to say. So here we go with Peggy. As far as a trade goes here, let's get a recapture of 5, maybe on some volume. That would be awesome. Push up to that VWAP and maybe go above it. That should give us an opportunity here. Okay, couple really quickly just to mention here. I just wanted to mention Bivy. This is back on the scanner. This is one that we've kind of been looking at for the last few days. So we'll see. Excuse me. We'll see if this gets rolling here. And then also SAG. This was an IPO yesterday. IPO price is at 8. You can see we've actually had a number of candles here in the pre-market that took this 2 and through 8. I wouldn't be surprised if you get another move here at that. This is ticker SAG, SAG Holdings.
TVGN, to answer the question I said I'd get back to you on, the next level I like from here is 405.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if that's got to be from a daily, I'm assuming. Yes, sir. 405, that puts us right in here. Right in here. Okay, we could actually easily get that here today. All right. What else do you folks want to take a look at? There was one here. Good morning. Stay focused. Thanks for joining us. Hope you are well. Did you guys cover ticker LC?
Nope.
Ticker LC. Is that Lending Club?
Yes, it is.
So we did not. Here's your daily chart. Here's your daily chart here on Lending Club. If we take a look at the 1 minute, 12.50 to almost 15 here. This is on earnings. Lending Club shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 financial results. Not one that I follow here. But this might be a good one here. Also getting some price target raises here today from Piper and Wedbush. This was a beat on the top and bottom line. 13 cents EPS versus 7 cent estimate. Nice beat there. 201 million in revenue versus the 190 million estimate. So looking pretty good there. See if there's anything else in here. Lending Club expects loan originations of 1.8 to 1.9 billion and pre-provision net revenue of 60 to 70 million for Q4 in 2024. So looks pretty good here. This trading higher, not one that I normally follow. Stay focused. Would love some more context on what you're looking for here. This actually, you should be able to trade this in some pretty decent size here today. Little bit of short interest on this one and float just under 100 million. What do you think on this, 13?
Reed's good. I'm just concerned about why the CEO is dumping shares. He dumped before the print. He dumped last month and the month before. Now, maybe he's just, offloading what he's being compensated for. But, selling, I don't know. I just don't like to see insider selling ahead of earnings. So just kind of curious about what's going on there with that. Aside from that, let's see. If we trade up, it looks like 1580 could be a particular level that we get our first taste of resistance. But if not, there's other levels. You could also look at 1750. But for now, let's just start with the one I saw earlier, 1580. Let's just target that one first. Okay.
Really good stuff there. Stay focused. If you have targets or a plan on this one, would love to hear it. We'll definitely take a look at this right around the open. Okay, we are about to open. Actually, I think we're under a minute. Oh gosh, we're 40 seconds here. Really quickly though, let's finish it off with UPS. We talk about this one as sometimes being kind of a gauge of the consumer. UPS big beat here, up 11% here this morning. United Parcel Service shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 EPS and sales. 13, I know you trade this one a lot. You were buying this recently, weren't you?
This is a long-term hold for me. I've been adding. I've just been buying and adding. I'll be holding this for at least a year.
And there you go. The gap has been filled. So that big gap on the daily has been filled with this print. We'll see where this goes. And we're about to open.
Yep, about to open. UPS, first time it's been above its 200-day SMA all year.
There you go. There you go. All right, folks. Let's see. What are we going to trade here today? What are we going to trade? Let's watch the Warrior Princess right out of the open here. How's Xena doing? Slaying some dragons.
Watching CCTG. That's trying to push here, but if we cannot get a pop and a movement over the 290 level, I think this is going to come down to the 200 EMA on the 5 minute, which is about 245.
Okay.
Let's see. QS going lower. Xena trying to hold on to VWAP. TVGN also going lower, but also trying to recover. Maybe I have to just wait a minute for some of these.
VEEE, Twin V Power Cats. This had a wild after hours. I saw the Benzinga Pro community was trading this in the after hours. Looks like this is going lower here out of the open. MNDR, this is another one. This really kind of failed.
Looks like now I don't know if this is moving on the ASTS news, but it seems like Lunar is having getting a bit of a lift here.
We can bring that up here. LUNR.
And see if there's any news with Lunar. It doesn't look like it. So might be getting a lift with the ASTS news. There's a little bit of a relationship trade there.
Okay. Lion Atlas says my Tesla calls should be green. Yeah, I'd say that was double the expected move, I think. By the way, SPY pulling out of the open here.
All right. It looks like CCTG went down to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute, and it's trying to bounce. Let's see if we get that to reverse.
CC, what was that? CC, TG, right.
Xena popping. I'm sorry, no, it's QS. I'm sorry. I don't. Please ignore that ticker mention. It's QS that is moving.
That's okay. QS, this did pop above the VWAP and is going. Volume looking pretty good here. Next spot I have on QS, 645. We're pretty much right there.
Yeah. I have 650 as the next one. We break through that. 682. The pre-market high is going to be the next level. After that, 730.
Okay.
Xena is trying to cover still beneath VWAP though. Peggy popped and then came back in.
I'd be interested in the Xena if we can reclaim the VWAP here, especially if we can do it on volume. Volume so far here today looks like this wants to go lower. So we'll see here. How's Tesla doing? Let's check in on Tesla. Who's trading Tesla here today, by the way? Kind of wait this out. Ooh, Tesla back down to its VWAP. Do we bounce here? Actually, it looks like it already tried to bounce once from the VWAP here. See if we're
Partners Think or Swim. It's good to see you. We've talked a lot about Oklo over the past week or two.
That got shellacked yesterday.
Yeah, it really was extended. It needed to come in.
Yeah,
the RSI is still pretty elevated, but not overbought quite yet. It's at 60. It's under 69. So that's okay for the time being. It's trying to find some support from the highs from May 9th. So that's kind of where we're at right now. For Oklo, you'd want to see it turn around about here, because if it doesn't, I think it's going to end up having a date with the 20-day SMA, which is down around $13.
Real quick here, Tesla did in fact bounce off that VWAP. See if it can get to this 245 here. I'd like to get some green on the screen. Okay, I'm just going to take this right here, get some green on the screen. We'll go next here with Tesla. I'm going to keep watching this. I think we're going to get some more. It's a nice little trade to start the day.
QS all the way up to that 650 level, trying to get through it. There seems to be a big wall at 661. But if it can get through that, then 682 is on deck.
Okay, 245 looks like on deck here for Tesla. We'll see Lending Club. This is the Stay Focused one, or the one that Stay Focused asked about here. Look, nice little dip to 14. Move through the VWAP here on Lending Club. Let's see if we can take out 15. Don't have a plan yet for this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, CCTG is trying to break out. I think I need to see this one get above 290, and then I'll be. Here we go. It's moving. It's printing above 290. Let's see if we can close above it, and then we can continue to move up. There's some consolidation it's trying to work through from pre-market. You can see it if you look to the left. It started about 705 and finally lost at about 830. So that consolidation there is where it's trying to chew through right now. So that's what we need to get through. That's for CCTG.
Okay. Really good stuff. Tesla, boom, 247. Might have taken that one off a little early, but we still got green on that. Looking pretty good. I think I'm going to wait for this to pull back and set up. This was one of the reasons why I wanted to sell this early is we're already up like 14.5% on a big cap name like this. I'd really like to see it pull back before I get for one of these bigger moves, but punished I will get as this continues to go higher. Congrats to anyone that took Tesla.
CCTG's pushing. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. Stay focused here. Waiting for volume on Lending Club. Never traded the stock before. Reading the tape and waiting. That is smart. Get familiar with it. Get familiar with it. Here's QS. We're going to go to that pre-market high here on QS.
Well, nice job, Mark Kaufman on Xena. Did you? You must have taken that pretty early, unless you shorted it out of the open. I'm not sure what the trade was, but hey, if you made 25%, well done. Lunar pushing up more. QS trying to hold above that 650. It's printing above it right now, but it looks like it's getting a little weak. Should continue to move up though. CCTG, that's in the 3 handle now. That's making its way up. We have the pre-market high at 425, but there's some other levels in front of it, particularly 385 and 417.
Okay, sorry about that. I got a little bit distracted there. Tesla might have run into some resistance here. Let's pull back. American Airlines, stay focused.
Motion mentioning Clove. That's up 2.5%.
Good morning, Florida yacht insurance guy. Good morning.
So Clove popped up.
American Airlines just completely retraced its earnings pop. Let me bring Clove up real quick here, 13. Go ahead.
The price action this morning for Clove, it moved it all the way up to the after hours high, where it kind of chopsticked, and then or tweezer, whatever you want to call it. And that is where the high is at, and it seems like it's getting some resistance there. So need some increased volume to push through that. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to turn around and come back in. The Mark's saying he bought Xena on the news yesterday, but it never bounced. Well done on your trade. Well done. Those overnight ones work out. Especially we've seen that with McDonald's, right?
Were you asking me? I was reading something for work. I got distracted.
That's the one you took, right? The McDonald's one overnight.
What? I day traded McDonald's yesterday.
Oh, I thought you took it overnight. I'm sorry.
Nope. Just day trade. I actually day traded McDonald's 3 times yesterday and did well on all 3 of them. Nice. So I'm actually thinking the same thing here with Tesla here today. I kind of am thinking, what the hell? Why did you refresh? That's not what I clicked at all. I was just trying to pull up Tesla here. Good Lord. All right. So I think that I might have just kind of piked this a little too early here. Thought it was going to maybe run into some more resistance there at 245, and it didn't. So there we go. Tony, if you're out there, man, I wonder if Dennis hit that better than I did. Probably did. Lion Atlas saying, taking profit on my Tesla calls. Lion, those were short-term calls from yesterday, were they not? Or from this week, anyway?
Xena came down to the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, which is at 233. Getting some support there, but not quite recovering yet. Might need some more time on that one. QS still trying to hold above 650, putting in a bit of an upper shadow here. If we close like that, could give an indication that we might be turning around here. Oh, wow. Look at that. LC.
Look at Lending Club. I took it off my screen to talk about some of these other ones, and it got the volume that Stay Focused was looking for. What a move through that pre-market high. On volume, too. That volume's expanding. I'm curious to see. Maybe this comes back in towards VWAP. I'd be curious. Jay saying 260 possible by election on Tesla. I would agree with that. I mean, today it looks like it's got, I'm kind of waiting for like some weakness to show up on the Tesla tape, and it's just not happening. At least not yet.
1580, I think, is what I said for Lending Club, right?
I think that is what you said. Yeah, 1580.
We're almost there. Or we were pretty close. Let's see here. What else is there? Okay, Peggy might no, it's a little spready, but it's trying to push up. Xena still needs more time. That still hasn't moved away from the 65 EMA. As a matter of fact, it might end up going through it.
Ooh. Stay focused. Another good call here. Boy, you guys are bringing the calls here this morning. Look at that bounce. The last time I was checking on American Airlines, we literally bounced right from that spot. This totally retraced back down to its closing price and bounced hard. Nice job there. Tons of volume here on this one if you're day trading this too. Well done. You guys, we're starting today off hot too. I love it.
Good things are coming. Good things. Nothing? Okay.
Sorry, I'm dealing with stuff, reading stuff here at work that I really probably shouldn't be. But
all right, so let's see if Xena can get a bounce here. It's got a big wall of sell orders at 243 that's currently chewing through right now, but lots of pressure for the downside.
I'll tell you what, Xena, I mean, kudos if it holds here. This sure looks weak to my eye. I wonder if we might dip a little bit more here.
It does look weak to me too.
Yeah.
Maybe there's going to be more support down closer to $2.
Lynn and Randy, Tesla broke that 250 resistance. So that first area, we talked about two levels here for an upside trade. 245, which got snapped with gusto. 250 here looks to be some resistance pulling back off that 250 spot. I'd be curious to know what the load spot is here for another upside trade. If we get it, maybe we pull all the way back to VWAP.
CCTG is knifing right now. Could not hold VWAP, EMAs, or anything after it had a reversal candle.
You like that? Crow's out here, man.
Yeah, okay. I know he's
out here, dude.
By what has been. Look, man, I can't change the past. Got to just look forward.
Okay. Okie dokie. All right, we'll see if Tesla actually takes out that 250 or if we get set up for another trade here. I really want it to pull back. Now I'm getting FOMO. Good trade, Lynn and Randy. We're going to give you a register ring there.
Yeah, so just kind of waiting for things to set up here. Got I traded once or twice. I traded
11.5 million on the float on NXU, JJ. That is a penny stock, by the way, going for dollar territory as we speak. Lending Club pulled back towards the VWAP, but didn't quite get there. That might be one to watch. Tesla lost 250. We'll see where that settles there. 248.5 seems to be a level.
Yep, Mullins moving as well. Let's take a look at
Mullins move. Where's Jay Rice?
So that means Rivian's going. Look at that, 4%. That means Lucid should be doing well. Let's see. Actually, no, that one's not. That Lucid is the exception. Kind of flat on the day.
Yeah, Lucid really, really having trouble.
Robert mentioning ASTS, that must be getting another lift. Let's see here.
It is.
Here we are. So we could also guess that Lunar is probably getting a similar lift as well. A lot of names running with each other this morning. TVGN, by the way, that is down to the 200 EMA on the 5 minutes. So we are in after hours. And it just got bought back up real quick. But we are in after hours territory down there now.
April Fool's Poker short Tesla at 250. Comp, you were shorting Tesla too. I wonder what your short levels are for Tesla. I got VWAP at 246 on Tesla. If it comes back in there, I'd take another stab at it. That's just me, though. Just rolling through some other stocks here real quick.
Yeah, just trying to see what's setting up, what's doing stuff. Peggy and CCTG, both with ugly knives. TVGN still approaching that 200 EMA. Xena is still trying to come back up off of its 65 EMA. Needs more volume though. And Lunar ripping.
Lunar is ripping, huh? I took that off the screen too.
Getting a mention on Rocket Lab running. Okay, so Rocket Lab's running more than Lunar. There's RKLB as well. Drug. Is that thing making its rounds? 8.5%. That thing's coming back up. So with that one, we're currently at a pre-market high. The after-hours high from yesterday has us at about 52.75. So if we get over that pre-market high, that would be the next level to watch for.
My God, Rocket Lab. Rocket ship, more like.
I sound like Kamala. Please don't ever say that again.
Wow. Should I ban him? Should I ban him for...
No.
Oh, that's funny.
Cryptos are afoot this morning, huh? They look like they are recovering. It seems like they had a pretty bad day yesterday, didn't they?
What's that? Say that one more time.
Crypto, they had a pretty bad day yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crypto here this morning, pretty nice though.
Mm-hmm. All the names we were talking about, they're all not looking great. I mean, they probably just needed some more time to turn around and come back up. So it's probably going to be more of a what's up?
I'm laughing at Wes who's trying to I'm not banning anybody, you guys. I was just kidding around. That's funny though.
We could probably look at some of these other names. We already been taking a look at Tesla. I'm taking a look here at the UPS on the 5-minute chart. Looks like we're getting some support from the 140 handle after it came back in. So we'll see if that holds. I think somebody was asking about levels I had for UPS. 140 is one of them. Then we broke over that, and that's going to be a support level now. I would just be looking at the highs that it's made from all the times it ripped. So the last time it did that was back in July, and the highs there was about 148. And then the one before that, 153.40. So
Shaka, you guys, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just like extra spice in the coffee or something this morning. Oak Lover. This is kind of funny. OKLO, this had a big pullback yesterday. Looks like we're doing the same thing here today. Now, it is worth noting that we're right at yesterday's intraday low. And so far, we're holding that. So maybe this is a possible bounce spot for OKLO. This thing, 13, we talked about this. You were in agreement. This thing really needed a pullback, right? This had just been kind of too far, too fast. Yeah.
Super excited.
So maybe you do get a bounce there. Watch that intraday low from yesterday. Oak Lover. That's good, Shaka.
As far as me adding more UPS, it'd probably be a good add under 140, but for me, I actually have limit orders down as far as 115, 120. Not sure if we're going to get down there anymore, but if I am going to add some more, it's probably going to be somewhere in the mid 130s.
Bivy, we talked about that one a little bit. That's just kind of at the bottom here. CAPR is getting mentioned by Robert. Robert, good morning. I think I'm not sure I said good morning to you. Ryan 13 is cool. Indeed, he is. I choose my friends. I choose my friends and my coworkers. I choose them carefully. You guys are all cool though. That's why That's why we have so much fun here every day. We always have fun. Ink caps. Let's go, Lion. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Okay. VKT. Ooh, yep.
We were also getting a mention of CAPR. This one getting a little pop on this current 5-minute candle that we have here. Let me bring the
IPO yesterday halted to the downside. Here is that CAPR pop.
Don't know what this is on or how sustainable this is going to be, but let's see here. 2232. That's kind of where we were at with this pre-market high from October 16th. Now, if we take that out, I think we'd be wanting to look at the intraday price action from the day before on the 15th. And that would give us 2275 and I guess we could say 23 even and 2340.
Volume kind of light here at 204,000 so far. I think I'd like to see that step up. Maybe we'll get that though. We'll hit some of those levels. Lending Club getting mentioned again. This maybe returning. So okay, so nice VWAP bounce there. Man, I might be a little too all over the place right now because I keep missing some of these bounces. You guys have done an excellent job calling these and putting these on the radar early.
Yeah, that's kind of why I only limit to going over 4.
Yeah. And I try to keep one for screen sharing here, and I try to keep multiple charts open so I feel like I can have my eyes on more things at once. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Also dealing with a work issue here today.
Okay, so Xena still losing some levels here. Quantumscape recovering, and it looks like it's trying to go for the pre-market high of 682. We're not too far away now. CCTG sideways. Peggy. Oh man. Seems like this one might get better support down around 430 or between 430 and 415. Clove, That one came back in. That after hours high was it for the time being. It's now beneath VWAP.
Okay.
Hopefully, you can use one of these EMAs to recover and recapture VWAP so it can go higher.
There you go on Clove.
Yeah, TVGN is ugly.
Someone was asking about SoFi earlier. We didn't really cover it, but what a rip. SoFi has actually really been a good trader recently. If you take a look at the daily chart here, SoFi for the longest time, just a lot of chop. But look at this move recently, and we are coming up to a resistance area here. Let's call it maybe 11.5 to 11.75 in there. See if we can actually break out of this. Maybe we've based, and now we're coming out of that base. Daily chart SoFi here doesn't look terrible, actually. Yep.
Replay Game Lab calling the Rocket Derby.
Confirming around 10 a.m. turn into Rocket. What? Lunar? Oh, I see. Rocket Lab, Lunar, and ASTS, all those spacefaring stock. Gotcha. Gotcha. TC, this is another ripper, it looks like. This halted to the upside here, 280. Nice job, guys. For those of you that are on that, guys and gals, I'm sorry.
What is TC about?
TC.
I think I already know.
Yeah, it's an omni-channel automotive marketplace in China.
Gosh.
Now yep, go ahead. Sorry.
Those insider sells.
VKTX, Tom, Tran, and Jay. Jay, I know you've been all over VKTX. Another one here. I really liked what Dennis said this morning about this being a takeover target. Market cap, what, 6.5 billion? What was that figure? I forgot. Yeah, 6.7 billion here. So I think what Dennis said earlier is, would you pay 10 for this if you were a company that's kind of behind on GLPs like Bristol Myers, for example? I could see that. Earnings here today, good. VKTX, another leg up here. The way that this trade has been working is this has definitely been a buy in the mid to low 50s and a sell near 70. You're right. You can kind of see that here playing out on the chart. If we're able to break above 70 here, I do think 80 is the next test.
Line Atlas, that's a good thing, and it's something that we've been talking a lot about. I think Meta, you might want to exclude from that because they've actually said that they are not doing any advertising for the campaigns. Google, on the other hand, is. And there's a couple of other tickers you might want to take a look at. I think it's SGBI, Sinclair. And
SB. No.
I might have the ticker wrong.
I know. That one's a tough one.
SBGI.
SBGI, Sinclair. Here it is.
And then there's another one, Gray TV. Those are going to be ones that are going to be getting a lot of that advertising money. Let me see if I can get the ticker for Gray TV for you. I think it's I can't remember. Motion
calling. Yeah, that's okay. Motion calling CCTG here. This is curling, maybe. Maybe this does kind of ramp here. CCTG do have some room to the VWAP. It's a little bit riskier of a trade than some of the other ones we've been looking at, but this is going here.
It's GTN for Gray Television.
Okay.
So take a look at those. If you're looking to do the election advertising money, yes, thank you, Tracy. I appreciate it. If you're looking for plays for election advertising money, Google probably a really good one. I don't think Meta, because they said they're not going to be doing advertising for the election, but then Sinclair Broadcasting and Gray Television. Take a look at those.
Well done, group. We're doing it again.
Looks like Xena is trying to turn around here. Needs to recapture VWAP, which is currently up at 269.
I tell you what, Xena 250 sure feels like a spot for me. If we're able to get that, we'll see if we do. On Xena. UPS. This is just coming back in. I wonder where this stops. Possible bounce play there when it does stop. Lending Club still back at that VWAP. Let's take a look at American Airlines. That was another one here that was a pretty decent bounce trade.
Could get support around 138. It got close to that, but I see on a 5-minute chart, seems like 138 could be the support level. But it looks like it's starting to reverse, or trying to anyway. Now I'm back on Xena, waiting to see if this one ends up turning around. It's getting some pretty decent support from the 65 EMA, but a little more volume here.
Look at ServiceNow. This is wild. This actually traded down and then went back to even after its earnings report in the after hours yesterday. Today, however, ramp in the pre-market and that ramp continuing on volume on the open. This is ticker NOW, ServiceNow. New all-time highs, if I'm not mistaken here. Indeed, new all-time highs for ServiceNow.
The crow is that because the ruling party may lose the majority. You know what I mean? I think there was news that we got from our one of our folks that cover that.
Which is
Tom put it in the happy hour chat. Manichi poll suggests Japan's ruling coalition may lose majority. Just kind of curious if that's what is going on. If there's other stuff, I think they might line Alice. It's entirely possible, but I don't know who's going to get the most or who isn't. I just know that those names that I gave you, those are going to be the ones getting the majority of the advertising dollars. And TVGN has just not been great this morning. Just all red.
Let me bring that up here real quick. Was looking around. This is actually right back to where it was too. How about that CCTG? Okay, so here we go. So are we curling here? We actually have some room back to the VWAP. I've got 292 the VWAP in the prop account, 311 the VWAP in trading view. Here we go.
QS on the verge of breaking over the pre-market high of 682. And looks like Clove is trying to come back up. Intraday high is 389, so we're almost there. Lending Club is making some pretty interesting sideways action. And QS is about to break the pre-market high. If it does, 730 is going to be the next level.
There you go. I'm not in this. I was watching CCTG there. That actually got rejected near its VWAP, though. Maybe I should have been on QS with you.
AC2000 is mentioning SMR.
Now that's along that Oklo catalyst that we looked at earlier. Yeah,
it's over $18 now. The high from yesterday was 1855, so that could be a potential upside target on its way up here. There are some sellers trying to push the price of Xena down. QS broke through that pre-market high very slowly because of the float. And Clove almost to 389 as well, just a couple of cents away.
Oh, lost my mouse there.
Well, get your cat on it.
Well, it is. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. It just got stuck on a different screen.
What do we think of Funware? So Funware runs when DJT moves. It's almost like that one doesn't really do anything unless DJT does something. So if you follow what DJT, the movement that one does, it's going to be pretty close to Funware. Other than that, I don't particularly have any good opinion or any fundamental opinion with Funware. Looks like if the parties, there's actually some news with Funware. That's not good news. Funware shares are trading lower. The company announced the retirement of its CEO and an interim replacement. Ryan, you tell me, hasn't the CEO kind of been one of the of this company? Hasn't he kind of been one of the big driving factors behind this? With his support of Trump, and that's kind of how this has been able to move, because he's really tied together with the candidate.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is I'm not sure. I don't really know anything about Stephen Chen, so I don't know if this is necessarily like kind of like a lateral, but if they're replacing him with someone that's similar or what have you. I don't know anything about that, but that'd be something to look into here.
Yeah,
fund down 14% on this news.
Yeah, so in my opinion, because I think the CEO was actually well liked.
Look at TC, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but TC is open. This was halted at 280. This is now 380. It looks like. Holy cow!
Yeah, Webcoin with another great point. The fund CEO knew how to pump.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the big reason why we're seeing weakness today in Funware, is because that CEO was liked and he did move the stock. So Seeing that leave the company, it's kind of worries investors, doesn't it? All right, so what are we doing here? Oh, it looks like Xena's got a bid down here at 235 that could help lift this up. That'd be great.
There you go. Maybe we'll get a curl there.
Mm-hmm. Take us back to VWAP. I have VWAP at 268. Crow mentioning at WIS that in his opinion, XPO will run after 130. QS next resistance at 689. Let's see here. I have to look to the left some more to see where you're referring to. I could see. Okay, so I mean, I'm assuming you're drawing from July levels in order to get that, because I was too for my 730 level. So sure, we 689 could be next, and I do see that there is some pretty significant sell orders between 698 and 7. So we're going to need to see some more volume than this in order to get over 7. So your level there was at 689, not too far away from where we're going to probably get rejected anyway. Okay. DCTG knifed.
Ooh, that was trying to curl. Let me bring that up here. Took that off the screen. Yo, that broke this actually is it bouncing off the pre-market high? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'd be careful with this one. You really want to see buying volume kind of confirm this. It's trying here. It's trying.
Oh, okay. So thanks for the update, Pro. So that's regarding complacency news coming after the reverse split for XPON.
Okay.
ASTS no quit. That means Rocket Lab's doing pretty good too then, huh? Oh, wow.
I'll check RKLB here real fast. Oh my God, Rocket Lab rocketing.
Yeah, also, so check the short interest on all of these too, because ASTS does have a significant short interest. It's got over a quarter of the float shorted, 3.11 days to cover. Rocket Lab, what is their float like? I'm sorry, their short interest. There we go. 17.3 of the float shorted, percent of the float shorted, 3.5 days to cover. So these things are squeezing. Lunar, only 1 day to cover, but 43% float shorted.
Looks like you guys, CHRO, penny stock, you guys are looking at. Cores here, by the way, this actually looks like a breakout on the daily. Yeah, it looks like it broke. What was this candle here? Had a high of 401. So we did break out here on the daily on Cores, ticker CORZ. BKTX trying to break out intraday.
That's a nice breakout.
CCTG is trying to bounce, but man, I don't know. That still looks a little weak. EFSH.
Replay Game Lab.
Excuse me.
Can anyone speculate what could brew supercooled liquid on the commercial space race? I'm trying to. Can you rephrase that question a little bit for me? I want to answer it. I'm trying to understand what you're looking for. Supercooled. Are we talking about like rocket fuel, like liquid methane and things like that? Help me out with that, great replay.
Real quick, while he's doing that, Jay Pertz from Twitter mentioning EFSH. This is interesting. This popped on volume into a halt. Looking at the hourly chart here, you can see how much of a previous runner this has been. This is really only starting. No position here for me on this one. It is halted, but maybe worth watching. Stocks up 57% here. Really good mention. I can go back to any one of those if you want, that you need, 13, if you want me to go back to one of those rocket charts.
I'm curious to see if EFSH, when it unhalts, if it goes to 325. Okay. I see what you're saying, Replay. So Replay Game Lab's wondering what's going to bring the all these rocket plays like Lunar and ASTS. What's going to bring them all down? It could be earnings. I don't think they're still doing reverse splits with some of these. A lot of these are heavily shorted. Maybe the whole theme ends and they all sell off. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going to bring them down, but they're not going to keep doing this forever. I just don't know what's going to bring them down quite yet. It could be a monetary thing.
Gonna check in here on Tesla. Looks like 250 was that spot. Lynn and Randy, you're gonna get a 1-up here today, as well as a register ring, because I believe that you had that 250 call crispy from this morning. Really well done there. It's up 5 points too early on that, unfortunately. UPS continues to come back in. Yikes.
Okay. That's fine.
VKTX looks like 70 prints on deck here. NDR, those penny stocks. I'll tell you what, those penny stocks from last night not doing well here today.
Yeah, scapegoat. See, that's a good point. So there might be like individual reasons why these could sell off that could take the whole, the whole theme down. So it could be Rocket Lab, if what scapegoat.
What was the number on eFish? 350. It's 318. It's going higher here.
325 is, yeah.
Dude, it is right there.
Yeah, so that's a good point, scapegoat. Is if it could be one thing in one of these companies that cascades into the other ones. So it could be something like that. Well, UPS did get some support from 138 briefly, but it is lower now. That's fine. I'm holding this for a long time, so like I said, I still have limit orders down between 115 and 120, so it could go back down there. I'll be perfectly fine with it. Not trading it, just investing in it. All right, Lunar continuing to go higher. Current high 840. That's of the day. Looking to break that pretty soon.
TC, this one we mentioned earlier, this taking the next leg up. Nice little volume pop. CCTG maybe trying to bounce. Let's see, what number does this need to get over? 240? 240 looks to be the number that really needs to move. Then I think probably 250. QS holding out at that pre-market high. This might be getting ready to go here too. 13.
Yeah. Just slightly went over it. 686 current intraday high. Still looking for, well, we still got to hit Lynn and Randy's target 689.
Okay.
And then 730 is the next one I have up here. Just remember that float's heavy. It's going to be difficult to push these up without significant volume. TC 429 is the current intraday high now, and there's a EFSH through that 325.
Look at that! What a move! This was a great call. That Jay Pertz from Twitter. Let's go, dude! What a call here. I was not on this one. But huge move right into that 280 halt was where that was called. Good stuff.
So let's see what we can get for the next levels in EFSH.
And Tesla hitting VWAP, that would be something to take a look at. Let's see if we can get another, not quite, almost there though. Try this again.
Well, maybe I don't need to do anything with EFSH because after hitting that 60, this is the 65 EMA on the daily. That's where I got that 325 from. We're polling now. Let's see if I can look at any longer time frames for some other levels. And nope, not there. I'd have to probably go and look at some candles. I'm looking to the left for some candles in terms of where this thing could go next, because the EMAs are not going to give us anything that was the only one nearby. So if we break 325, I'd be looking at, well, 460 looks like a level. So does 415. Let's just go with 415 for the time being. I don't feel too great about that. It might be 380, but let's just go somewhere between 380 and 415. There might be some resistance in that area. That's a consolidation area from back in June. Thanks, Crim Biscuit. I'll make it.
You sound good, man. You don't even really sound all that bad.
I just started feeling it come on yesterday, and so I got right to it with the airborne, trying to knock this thing out real quick. See if I succeed. Xena still consolidating, but it might try to move back off of the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. Needs more volume though.
Tesla here at VWAP. That was a good call there. Comp is still short Tesla, I think, here. Trying this for a VWAP bounce. We'll see if we get it.
Replay Game Lab. As far as my understanding goes, the
E-Fish
GE
going to halt again.
Oh wow, look at that. Oh, right almost to that 380 area. Let's see. Replay Game Lab. GE Aerospace. I think that is just the engines.
Yeah, it's the big ones, and they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, they are. Any NASA or commercial satellite contracts from GE? I don't know. That would require some looking into. I have not done that, so I don't have an answer for you there. What are we looking for out of the halt? That was well, I think we already talked about out of the halt with the what was the one TC, right? Where I was looking at 325. Because that already happened. If that's the one we were talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was EFSH out of the halt. So out of the halt for EFSH, which is currently halted right now, we were looking somewhere between 380 and 415 for the next resistance area, and we're right about there. Which, wouldn't be a bad spot considering that the RSI on the 5-minute chart is at 95. We could see some. I don't know exactly what EFSH is going to do out of the halt. Could pop up and come back in. We could immediately come right back in. But just keep in mind that this thing is pretty extended right now.
Tesla here. This was a really good call. A great bounce off the VWAP here on Tesla. So far. Love to see this keep going. Palantir looking good today. We could take a look at Palantir real quick as the Tesla bounce continues.
No, Joey, the happy hour is a Zoom call for pro members.
Yep, exclusive to pro members.
I'm going to take this one from Dan D because CVNA is fun to talk about.
Yeah, you go for it. CVNA is a blast.
So, part of the thought here on why this is having such a good, year is because vehicle prices have come down, but I think they have a financing side, Carvana does, that is doing really well when they sell their vehicles. So I think that's why you're seeing such upside in CVNA. Not so much, they're selling cars left and right. They might be doing that, but I think it's their financing segment that's doing really well for them. As far as an upside target goes, if it continues with this movement over 200, there is a resistance area I see at 220.75. But I think I don't disagree. This is I drive past one of their towers that has the cars in them, and
the vending machines, the car vending machines.
I laugh at those because it's to me it's a gimmick. It's funny, but hey, if it gets them to sell cars, then who am I to judge?
I mean, like the whole concept of being able to avoid the dealership and either going to a vending machine or having the car dropped off at your house or whatever. Like I understand the appeal there, and just I don't have any personal experience with the stock itself, so I don't know. Are you getting a car like a used car that's maybe kind of been abused? Is the paint really crappy? Like I don't know the answer to that. I don't use the service itself.
He's saying that you read mixed things about them being a shady company, but the truth of it. I mean, I could definitely see that.
I think XIII had a Carvana experience, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to quote him because I don't want to say something that's not true, but the next time we have XIII on here, we should ask him. Because I could have sworn he was looking at one of his cars from Carvana. Maybe I'm mixing that up with something. We'll ask XIII the next time we see him.
And you might get that fall. It just depends on how that earnings print reads. That comes in 6 days on October 30th. All right, so EFSH still halted. Let's go through some of these tickers and see what's going on here. It looks like Lending Club finally may be getting weaker. If we do start to lose some altitude here, it is beneath my VWAP. And if we do continue to go down, I think there might be some early support around $14.
Here you go on Lending Club. Still looking good on our Tesla bounce play here, folks. See if we get to 250. I'm trying not to sell it early this time. We'll see if we can get this at 250.
ACHR looks good for long. Any thoughts? Ryan and I are already in this one. Let's see. They have earnings coming up in 2 weeks from today. The rules for that the FAA put out, that definitely gave it all that whole sector of EV tolls a lift. It's one of the things that basically all the companies were waiting for. So they're the ones that are piloted. They could start that certification process, get pilots in these things. They also have short interest that's pretty high as well. Remember, this company, Archer, doesn't make money right now, but they are expected to in the future. So it could be some time before you see that profitability in this company. So you got to, maybe temper some expectations with this. If you buy this and it starts going down, understand that this is going to likely get weaker before it gets stronger.
EFISH, EFSH, 450 prints now. Big rip here at EFSH.
That just has no chill.
Nope.
Bigabee's review of SPY this morning. What was my low mark for SPY? Let's take a look at SPY and see where it's at now. I haven't looked at it in a bit. So we've lost 580. Let's see here. Because I was looking at that 580.33 as a support level, but that's the second day in a row that we've opened above it and lost it. Let's see if it can. Oh, actually, we didn't open above it. We trailed down before the open, and we opened beneath it. So we're between 580.33 and the other previous all-time high of 577.71. Those are the two levels I have at the moment that I'd be looking at for both support and resistance. There's also the 20-day SMA that's beneath that 577.71. I have that at, currently at 576.74. So those are some downside levels there, but I'd see some consolidation between those two previous all-time highs I mentioned. We've seen that already a bunch last week and this week.
Stay Focused was saying here, let me see if I get the comment. Your thoughts on the SPY? It can't get over VWAP. So far, we still seem like we have a kind of a repeat of yesterday, where it seems like the sellers are in control, but we're really not breaking down. I agree. The fact that it's really kind of struggling with VWAP here tells me there's probably some more downside, maybe even a test of this, 580, 578, 60s area. We'll see here. Notable that it can't get over VWAP. But this was the case yesterday until the afternoon. Then we pretty much bounced back towards the VWAP there.
Looks like it is not liking the new home sales print either.
You know what? I didn't even have that. Good shout there. Here we go. Let me bring that up real quick. New home sales for September, 738,000 versus 719,000 estimate. New home sales month over month, 4.1% versus minus 2.3%. That was a revised number. Lynn and Randy, you had sent me recently about how home buying was the lowest.
That was existing home sales.
Existing home sales. Thank you.
Yeah. So I kind of want to say that it seems like the builders are still in control as the existing home sales, existing homeowners. They're not, really trying to sell right now. And it seems like the buyers are just sitting on the sidelines still. But if the new home sales are higher than the expectation, it seems to me like the builders are in control of that market.
T-Mobile may be going back towards its highs here. SPY continuing to stay weak. Take a look at Tesla.
BSL is mentioned in Quantumscape. Sorry.
It's okay. It looks like Tesla couldn't quite get to that 250 spot. We'll see if it's got another chance right here.
Just seeing if Xena is consolidating, so I'm just kind of curious to see if we're going to actually turn around here with that one.
Yeah, now that one, it looked like it really needed. Oh wait, NUKK halted. No, this is resumed. What happened? Was there news on this? NUKK Nucleus. I don't see any news. Just halted on a circuit breaker here.
QS trying to get back up to that intraday high of 686, so we can get up to that Lynn and Randy level of 689. Floats, floats large on this one, folks. If we don't have enough volume to push it up, it's going to leak. It looks like EFSH finally got some weakness here, down to the VWAP now. 458 was the high it printed here, and now we're losing VWAP.
Oh yeah.
And rates up again too. Yeah. Bivy volume picking up. Reverse split NUKK. What's doing good? Okay, so here's QS still trying to push up. It has not done for the day yet. It's need to see that volume expand. LC, this one looks like it's going to go down to. This one looks like it's headed to 14. EFSH
looks like it snapped VWAP. We'll see if it can bounce from this VWAP level.
I see Quantumscape trying to push. Here we go. Now we have a new intraday high by a penny now, 687.
On Quantumscape, let me bring that up here real quick.
Everybody's mentioning Bivy.
VI, that was one that we talked about having relative volume. Let's see what VI did here.
320 is the earliest resistance spot, and then I have 327. And interestingly enough, there is a large wall of sell orders at 25 and 26. So, and we're putting in some upper shadows here. So this could be this could be one that tries to push up to those levels that I just mentioned and gets rejected. Volume doesn't look like it needs to be where it needs to be. I'm sorry. But those are the levels I'd be watching for: 320 and 327. We take those out. This thing could get going then. CAPR. Looks like we're getting some rebounds in some of these. CLOV trying to get back up above VWAP. CAPR trying to hold VWAP. Lightning Club trying to turn around. Lots of very low volume movement in all of these names here.
EFSH breaking away. That's in trouble, I think.
Yeah.
That one's in trouble here. Tesla still kind of flirting with that 250 area. We'll see.
S-Bucks almost up to $100.
Xena just did nothing. This just went to this level, traded sideways, did literally nothing. Here's QS. Maybe we're going to break here. QS.
Take care, Motion. Well done on your profits.
Yeah, good stuff, Motion. Good stuff. Tesla, I'm looking for 250 here. Let's see if we can get it. Come on. Come on. Give me that 250.
I think it can hear you.
Well, it just needs to get there. It's 80 more cents, 13. 80 more cents so we can close that up.
All right. TC kind of bouncing between VWAP and the 9 EMA on the 5-minute. Some of these are just have almost no volume in it. What else are we looking at here? What I say that was so funny, Comp? I don't know what I did. QS resistance at $7. Let me see. We got to your 689.
UPS slowing its breakout down. Mattel, did they report earnings? Mattel higher here. QS, there we go. 7 prints coming on QS.
They reported yesterday. Mattel.
Yeah, in the after hours.
And then they got a bunch of price targets.
Stay focused trading a firm, huh? Nice little move off the VWAP there on a firm.
What does that daily chart look like?
Choppy.
Yeah, it does.
Choppy. All right, Tesla, give me this 250 so I can get out of here, and then comp can reshort it, and we don't have to be battling each other. Come on. Go 2 for 2 on Tesla here. Lynn and Randy, let me tell you something. I normally don't have a good percentage on Tesla, but if I close out 2 for 2 here today, that would be not so bad.
So if a firm can hold their 20-day SMA, it could go higher. But if it doesn't, then you have the 50-day SMA at about $40 that could provide support. This thing did golden cross earlier this month, so that implies there's more upside ahead. So we'll have to see if that's what we get. And if we do get that upside, the 52.48 is a breakout level.
Tesla.
M Stone, how come my broker won't let me short? There might not be shares available to borrow.
It could be a short sale restriction. It could be the way that your account is coded. If you've traded short before, I doubt it's your account. But maybe something changed. But yeah, short sale restriction would be another one. There should be if you place an order and your broker rejects it, there should be some reasoning there why they couldn't fill your order. That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
Or if you're in an IRA, replay Game Lab. My first trading action was actually in an IRA account. Maybe that's why I'm kind of anti-short from the very beginning. I'm just kidding.
The Crow mentioning MSOS going to break out its range on the daily in his opinion.
Oh, Tesla, are we coming back to VWAP? Don't do it. You didn't even get 250. Just go there. I'm actually going to close Tesla here just so I can say that I went 2 for 2. No, get back over 249. There we go. There we go. There we go, Tesla. I really want this to hit 250. Can you guys hear the bird in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, bird is in a different room, just chirping up a storm.
Yeah.
All right. Did you say he's tweaking?
No, he's tweeting.
He's tweeting. I see. Okay. I'm going to go check on him real quick. Just one sec.
No worries. In the meantime, let's take a look at Quantumscape here and see what that's doing. Looks like we're at 695 after hitting 703. And we're coming back in. So that was a good call there, Lynn Randy. You had your $7 resistance area. Coming back in, let's see where we get support if we do get it. I'd imagine we start to get it around the previous highs we were just trying to take out. So somewhere around 680 to 685, we might get the support if we don't get it here. Webcoin, are you just mentioning like X, like steel, US steel, or are you mentioning crossing? NVDA low, adding more Tesla says comp. And as far as that MSOS, that looks like it's on its third day of potentially closing above the 200 EMA. This one looks like it's on a good recovery trajectory for Crow. I guess what is the thought that we might be getting some of that rescheduling of marijuana? Is that the thought here, or is it just technical trading? Oh, got you. It's Xing. I know for some of us, it's always going to be called tweeting. I don't think people want to say, oh, yeah, I'm on X. It means a whole different thing.
Yeah, sorry about that. He's all good.
All right.
He's all good.
Florida will probably pass recreational. Oh, yes, that's a good point, Crow, about the election and marijuana. That could be something that is an issue that they try to get legalized. Why not introduce the bird of the room? Oh, I think he has.
Why? What was the question? Sorry, I was reading something else.
Have you introduced the bird to the room?
This room?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Well, yes. So the bird cage normally resides in my office. So normally when I'm not on camera, I spend time with the bird. I had a bunch of really kind of sour internet folk get upset at the bird chirping often, which I can't control. It's a bird. Okay. So I moved it into a different room in order to kind of just eliminate that. But I also can't like get it on my finger and be like, hello, make it talk to the camera. That'd be pretty sweet.
EFSH is recovering, going towards VWAP, and TC also broke through VWAP and is looking at it as at support right now. Sorry to kind of switch gears, but I saw folks mentioning that one of those was going. And
here's EFSH right back at its VWAP here.
There we go. And it looks like Xena may end up going lower.
SYY hit. I wasn't even looking at that. Cisco. Oh my God. Oh. Good mention. See, this probably was squawked, wasn't it, Ray? Let me see. Yep. Inform some customers about Taylor Farms onion recall. Here we go. So this is going to be the fallout from that McDonald's stuff. Cisco, that's from a Cisco spokesperson, comments in an email statement to Bloomberg. That's hitting ticker SYY. Good shout. Stay focused.
Great. Nice.
I mean, now so first full disclosure here. I was obviously late. I was taking care of some stuff here. Stay focused was on top of this, but look at this huge move down here. You got a 1.5 move off the lows here. Just kind of buying that if you bought that pullback. Sorry, God, easy for me to say.
Largest U.S. food service distributor.
Yeah. Cisco.
I'm trying to think.
Jay is saying, you guys still trying to bottom fish pot stocks? Not really.
No.
I don't think the pot stock, I don't think those stocks are really going to have juice until there's a couple of things out of the way. Banking and federal legalization are going to be the two things that I'm kind of waiting for. So I'm not even going to waste time trying to pick bottoms down here.
Yeah, I'm not in any of the stocks right now.
Yeah, I got none of that. I'd actually almost rather play the GLP theme than the pot theme. Speaking of the GLP theme, VKTX, just an absolute monster move here today. Monster move here today, post those earnings. Nice little gapped up here a little bit, retested the top end of that, and then bang, ran 7 points, 7 points from that retest. Oh, good stuff there, VKTX.
Squeezing too.
Yeah, Jay had mentioned earlier, Jay, that post I did see, you did mention that there is still a lot of short interest here in the stock. Nearly 20% of the float shorted here still on this one.
Getting asked about SERV to 1022.
Yeah, I feel like SERV was mentioned a number of times here today. I didn't pull it up at all, sadly. Here you go on SERV.
Now, as far as 1022, it's a very specific number. Where are we drawing that from? Are we drawing that from a previous candle, like August 28th, or from yesterday? Looks like yesterday it got. Oh, okay, so it must be yesterday because that was the high from 1022. I don't like these upper shadows, but we are back above VWAP, so that's good. And we do have, we can call it a silver cross if we want. That was a 20 moving up over the 50 day SMA. Doesn't get back to 1020. I don't know about today, but it looks like it. Given the support from the 20-day SMA, it certainly could try to hit that number and then maybe even come back in. I'd say it's possible, given the support that it got from the 20-day SMA. I just don't know that it's going to happen today. It might, but.
Crow and Tuna, really good mention here. V. This is VEEE. Victor Echo. This move through 50 here really kind of just lit this will right back up to the after hours highs. Remember, but the BZ Pro crew was actually trading this in the after hours yesterday. When I say the crew, the customer base was trading this yesterday. Here we go. This ripping, no position for me on this one.
I don't know what happens when it gets to 80, but that's a level. That's where the 200-day SMA is. That's also where the high from September 19th is. I'd be looking at 80 cents as a big resistance area. Hey, Kevin, what's going on? LRHC creeping up. Yeah,
LRHC, huh?
Yeah, replay.
That was a recent one.
I know that there's demand for marijuana. It's just that we really need the banking system opened up to these growers, these retailers. They're hampered down. Their expansion's hampered down. Everything's hampered down by going through the process that they have to now. So we start getting some legalization that opens the banks up to it. They're going to be able to borrow money easier. It's going to be a whole game changer, and those pot stocks will be hot again.
Yeah, it's the big thing to remember here is there's a couple of things in play here. There's obviously federal laws, there's state laws, there's user what do we want to call it? Just their general feelings about pot have shifted over the years. Used to be viewed as a drug, now it's viewed as less and less. Less and less harmful. Medicine in a lot of cases is a really good point. So there's those factors here. It's important to realize, though, that a lot of those factors are completely disconnected from the stock, which is what you're trying to trade in your broker. So to 13's point about the banking industry really needing reform, first of all, is something that's legal in one state and not legal in another state. It's going to make it difficult for that stock to really have significant gains and positive trends. And then again, just to kind of get back to what 13 was mentioning, how is that company going to, make and accrue money and all that? If they can't bank it, if they can't take money from their sales and bank it and then use that capital or invest it or get loans for expansion, how, that is a big hurdle that needs to get figured out. Let's put it that way, figured out before the pot stocks can make money. So you could be going home after work, sparking up a big fat blunt, absolutely loving it. And your usage, all of that stuff doesn't really affect the stock. The stock has other things that it's going to need to get figured out. And that's kind of what we're waiting for in order to trade these. So Jay, to go back to your comment about bottom picking them, not really. We're going to wait till the path is cleared here. That's my rant on the pot stocks. I do think that is going to be an industry where money can be made in the future. I will say that. And I will probably trade that. I just don't think that the time is now for that. That's all.
Wow. Comp with the loonies drop there. I don't know how many people recognize that title.
Cop with the loony. What did I miss?
Comp with the I Got 5 on it. That's a loonies song.
Oh, I got 5 on it.
That's
it. Everyone knows that song. Blunts. Yes. Blunts is where you take the cigar wrap and you wrap weed up in it. I'm just saying. I guess I could have gone with bong rips instead of blunts, but
however you want to ingest. BITO. This is Bitcoin getting a pop here or what? I just saw a big move in BITO.
Yeah, Bitcoin's up at the highs here, 68K about. MNPR also looks like it's getting a pop here.
Okay.
Yep, on volume. MNPR. This had a catalyst here. Monopar Therapeutic shares are trading higher after the company entered into agreement with Alexion, AstraZeneca Rare Disease, for an exclusive worldwide license to ALXN for Wilson's disease. Okay, I didn't see this one earlier. Is this fresh news? It must be. This was from this morning. Sorry, I missed that. I've interrupted you 6 times. Go ahead with the Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is on the verge of breaking over 68K. We haven't been up here since... gosh, it was much earlier this month. It looks like the 21st. Not that, so a few days ago, but we had this huge drop and now we're recovering. So getting back above 68,000, we're on the verge of doing that. Yeah, I mean, I know I don't look it, but I am pretty old.
CLSK looks to be moving with Bitcoin here. Bivy getting another mention from Smoke Tuna. Smoke Tuna managed to stay on task all day here today. To shenanigans. Actually, Bivy, possible breakout here from the 315 level. Really good call there.
It has been trying to break over 315 all morning.
Tesla might be trying to break that 250 area again. AI Rod mentioning that V knife.
V.
I mean, I didn't even think about that. 13. Oh, this is the wrong. You can't do this with one hand. Just trying to drink my tea, guys. Come on. There's your knife on V. Those penny stocks. Daddy Backstrap, do you believe the Kamala admin will actually try to deregulate marijuana federally, since Biden said the exact same thing, and here we are 4 years later? So I would take the names out of this. I got to imagine at some point some administration is going to do it. Do I think that Kamala's administration, judging the fact that she has locked up a ton of people for weed convictions, I find that hard to believe. But the other thing, just kind of removing each side of politics away from this, Daddy Backstrap, I think that this might be one of those subjects where the two groups fight over it, but nothing actually gets done. Right. So I think that's kind of what you're getting at in the second part, is where you said, oh, well, the Biden admin said that they were going to do this and it's not done that for you. This might be one of those things where they talk about and don't do. That's just, call it a gut feeling. I don't know if I think any, I don't know if let's put it this way. I don't know if I believe that any specific administration is actually going to do it.
I think it's going to take an act of Congress.
Yeah. You know what? And see that, I guess I should have just gone with that. That's very short and sweet and to the point. Yeah. A Fairchild, this is kind of what I was trying to say. Both sides will virtual signal each other to death on cannabis. I almost half of you guys are going to think I'm crazy. What?
TC.
Half of you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but part of me thinks that the administration that's going to do this, whoever it may be, is going to be the one that says, you know what, we just need more revenue from tax, and it's worked in some states. Let's just do it federally, get more revenue that way without increasing something like a sales tax. I would say that the first administration, whichever one that might be, I'm not attaching any names to it, that is probably going to be your best chance of getting that over. But I'm not betting on that. I'm not using my capital to trade on that, Yeah. So it's a complicated problem. I'll wait and see what I can do.
We'll probably see it in our lifetime, but it's going to take a while.
Stay focused. This is exactly kind of why I'm on that, right? This is exactly why I'm on that. Stay focused. They should approve weed on the federal level so they can pay down the national debt with taxes. Can you imagine if 20 years down the road, we're like, yeah, we had a huge debt problem, and you know what we did? We made pot legal, and everyone loved it so much that we were able to pay that debt down. That would be a story. They'd write books about that. Now, I can be, an apple polisher here and say, yeah, I hope that that's what happens. It seems to me that if you have a whole new bucket of tax revenue, there's going to be people with their grubby hands trying to get hands all over it. I'd love to see it go towards the national debt or towards education. I'm not sure that's going to happen, though.
So TC went up to the intraday high, getting a little bit of pullback here, but that was a good VWAP breakout. I think as long as we hold above 4, I say that now, it's starting to lose it. We can hold above 4, we could still push higher. There's a lot of things that need to happen with. There's a lot of issues too still surrounding the whole pot trade as well. There's a lot of farms that are run by cartels. That's a whole other issue that needs to be dealt with.
By the way, TC here, not to get too far down the pot road here, yeah. TC might really break out from 420. That 420 level, 425, 427, maybe even on that high here. TC running.
Oh, 420 high? Gosh, you're saying all the buzzwords.
Look. we out here, okay? So the other problem, one of the other things that you're seeing here, I've actually got a lot of the information from podcasts recently. One of the big problems is that the cannabis that's grown illegally in this country is often done on public lands. Like some of the cartels that 13 was just talking about have actually infiltrated public lands, diverted water sources to an illegal grow operation. I tell you what, you make that. If it were legal all the way across, I still think that there would be a black market because people like this would be trying to undercut those prices. But anyway,
sounds like we need to deal with the border first.
How's your Blackhawks, Ryan? Kevin, they have been off to a sluggish start, and we got a big matchup tomorrow against Lynn and Randy's Predators that I think they're going to lose. I think they're actually going to hang another L. Bedard looks great, though.
All right. Waiting to see if TC gives us this breakout over 430. It's losing 4.
Nuck maybe coming, NUKK, excuse me, maybe back to its VWAP there.
Looks like EFSH trying to find some support and turn around.
EFSH, be careful with this one. We did have a bounce that happened really, really quick back to that VWAP, but that was after a massive breakdown.
Yeah, MACD's telling me be careful with this one as well. Xena looks like it's about to roll over. VI. This one has been trying to get above 315 all morning. If it doesn't do it in the next 5 to 15 minutes, it might be done for the day.
MNPR open, and is it going to get halted again? This is halted again already. Halted to the upside, 809 here. You guys, so interesting. Okay, Smoke Tuna saying, Ryan, it reminds me of moonshine. Jane Smith said, ending prohibition ended most moonshining. You guys are, I love that you guys know history. That's really awesome. But let me add one more caveat to this. You're correct. Prohibition did end most of that. But here's the difference. Weed is called weed because it is weed. You can literally take seeds, sprinkle them in your yard, and you may have a plant there a few months later. Moonshining, alcohol distilling, is a much more complicated process that requires equipment, knowledge, and in a lot of cases, time and other resources. Growing weed is much easier. From what I've heard, I've actually also never brewed my own beer or distilled my own alcohol. So frankly, I'm talking secondhand here on all of this, but it's much more difficult to produce alcohol than it is to produce weed. And that's one of the reasons why they kind of think that just making it legal won't necessarily end most of it. You're still going to have people on a black market trying to undercut some of those prices, especially if you're hoping to generate a lot of revenue from the tax structure that you put around it. Not saying it can't be done, but another caveat to keep in mind there.
All right, TC coming back in the VWAP. Xena's gonna look like it's still looking like it's gonna lose this level at some point. VI just talked about it, needs to take out 315. COLV back above VWAP. Lending Club, that one is kind of sideways at the moment. This one looks like it wants to also try and recapture VWAP. Need better volume than this. And Quantumscape is losing a VWAP. This might go down and get support at 650.
UPS also beneath its VWAP doesn't look like it's making any real effort to get back there. That might be a little bit weak. Tesla, did we hit that? Did we print that 250 and then back off? We did print that 250. Intraday double top here now, just about 251 there on Tesla. That's going to be the next spot. Maybe a move back down here to the VWAP. I love that. Sounds like we've got a lot of weed growers in the chat.
Smoke Tuna mentioning TG. This is starting to turn around.
McDonald's 300, really flirting with that 300 level. It's having trouble breaking above that.
TC lost VWAP.
You see, I took that one off my screen here. Did we end up double topping up there? Yeah, we sure did. And we broke back down and lost VWAP. Got it.
That's what happened with that one.
SPY, actually, do a quick check-in on SPY here. Looks like that traded back up towards that 580 level and reversed. Didn't even quite print 580. Back down to the lows here at 579.
Yang, more to go. What's Yang doing today? Is that going up? Okay. I mean, if you're saying it's got more to go up, oh man, this thing has a long way to go up, in my opinion. This is just probably going to be the first of some of the movement we're getting. It needs to get back over 4. That was where it kind of topped out last week. And there we go. Xena going down. And TC went down. Now it's the next candle's trying to recover VWAP. Not sure we're going to get that. MACD looks like it's going to roll over. And not seeing a whole lot at the moment, except CCTG just looks like it's trying to turn around. That's about it. CAPR might be needs more volume, but it's got a good move going to the upside. Looks like 22.18 might be the next spot. Excuse me.
BOF, that was kind of nothing. Rigetti, wasn't this a quantum computing engaged in the business of full stack quantum computing? My memory is not terrible yet. Look at Whirlpool. Wow, what a move on Whirlpool post earnings.
They see more people replacing their appliances, or what's the news here with this one? They see their sales rising. You know, if that's what they see, it's kind of flies in the face of a weakening consumer, doesn't it? Are you done, Tesla? Can I marginalize you? I don't think the stock has any feelings. Go for it.
Is that a joke because you use margin to short? Is that, am I making sure I understand that there?
I'm just being a jerk to stocks.
I see.
They don't have feelings.
I see.
SPY is letting go. Uh-oh. We losing that?
Yeah, actually it is. Here, I took the SPY chart off, and guess what it did? It rolled over and went for new lows. Just waited for me to leave, or waited for me to change it. Change the ticker here. All right, we have TradeZero coming up with Zunaid pretty soon. Let me see if he's going to join us.
We can ask him that question then.
Yeah.
SPY looks like it's coming down into the after hours consolidation from yesterday. That's going to be between pretty much where we're at right now and the lower end of 578. So we're in a consolidation area. There could be some support here. EFSH turning around.
Oh, yes, it is. Retaking 3 here.
Do you replace a refrigerator every 3 years, Nick?
Oh my gosh. Really?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. What's in your refrigerator?
LC broke through the VWAP. It's coming back up. Also, MACD is curling. This could could get going.
VIX, we're looking at this SPY move kind of roll over here. I'm looking at the VIX at the same time. VIX at 1920, although it does look like it might be making another move towards 20. Oil selling off now, sub 70 all of a sudden.
Selling off. That's not a bad point. Web coin made in China. If you've got one made in China, then I can understand that. IBM and Honeywell putting some pressure on industrials. Let's see. Honeywell reported this week. Was it today? Yes, it was. How'd they do? Sales miss, EPS beat. I guess the guide that they gave wasn't great. It was within the consensus, but they also mentioned that the range was lower than consensus. It was between the EPS they're expecting for Q4 is between 273 to 283, and the consensus was 278. There might be some other color they added here that's holding it down.
Those fancy, ridiculous smart refrigerators. Yeah, that I don't get. The smart refrigerator theme I don't get. Uh-oh.
Well, some of those are made by Japan, so I don't think that some of those are. You might be right. Some of those really obscure, junky names, but Samsung, maybe not. I'm sorry for laughing, but Bilger, I don't think you're wrong. I was just laughing because I was thinking about what other letters they would add to MADD.
By the way, update from Zunaid. He's not joining us here today.
Oh.
However, Zunaid, quote, I almost bought from Carvana, but at the last second, the car he did buy, he actually bought from CarMax. So he was looking to use Carvana services, but ended up not using them. I don't know if that tells us anything, but I was close. I didn't misremember, to borrow Roger Clemens' phrase.
Oh, thanks, Walter. That's a good piece of information to know. If the first letter of your fridge brand is A, it's made in China.
Like Amana or It's not Amanda. I think it's Amana.
Well, because I could think of all the ones that I've ever used, and none of them started with an A.
I don't even know what brand of fridge I have in my place right now. QS lost its VWAP, and UKK not much. The SPY, it's really kind of sitting there on the lows. I'm looking around at like a lot of my other charts. There's a lot of nothing happening.
Vivi, BIVI.
BIV. Okay, let me get that up here.
Next attempt at 315. Is this the one that breaks?
Oh my gosh, look at that. The fourth attempt here, BIVI. Yeah, it was Amana, right, Lynn? Okay, I got Amana. Yeah, Amana. I thought so.
LC also trying to recapture VWAP. Actually, it's above it at the moment. Volume's a little low though. Quantumscape 650 is the next support I have.
NXU moving away from its VWAP. Crow looks to be all over it. Riot finally appearing on the scanner here with the Bitcoin move. Riot actually might be recapturing that VWAP. Mara also on here as well. American Airlines back. Stay Focused told us that there were a ton of sellers at the VWAP earlier. And actually, this looks like this had a volume push into VWAP. I wonder if those sellers are getting hit. Don't see anything crazy on the level 2. CCTG, this might be careful with this one. SYY almost fully recovered. Stay Focused. You're still on that Cisco move. Boy, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Right back into that consolidation.
That one. Yeah. That little E. coli headline there, that was a buying opportunity.
Oh, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate that. We definitely try to keep positivity up here. There's no question. This trading thing, it's hard. And right, so any type of positivity, we're trying to roll that forward.
As far as iRobot goes, it's up on, doesn't seem like it's up on anything. What's the short interest on this? Okay, so it's a short squeeze candidate. They have earnings coming up next month on November 5th. They have that's the election. They have them coming up on the election. Here we go with BIV. I broke through that 315.
Did it really? I took it off. Damn it. Sorry.
And, it's moving up to the next level I have at 328. Let's see if we can break through that. Oh wow, that was a good one there. As far as iRobot goes, I'm not. Let me look at the chart. Maybe I can give you a better response if I look at that. Oh, this thing is kind of just been sideways for the whole year almost. I don't know what it's moving up on, but I'll tell you this. If we are going to continue moving up, it's got to get over 9. That was a resistance area earlier this month. I'm sorry. Yeah, earlier this month and last month. Get enough volume. We're above the 50 and the 20-day SMAs, so it's encouraging to see it capture those. We have the 200-day SMA at 1021, and that's interestingly lining up with a resistance area right at 10. But let's look at the first thing it has to do. There's highs that it made earlier this month, 892 and 890. So So you could say that right about in that area, you want to see it get over that. That's why I'm saying 9. I want to see it close over 9, and then that would help us. That could help the stock continue upward.
All right. Really good stuff, 13. We do have to run here. We are out of time for today. We're going to be back tomorrow. 13, you sound good and healthy, so I expect you to be back here tomorrow. Looking pretty good. Folks, really good stuff here today, and it's been a great week. Hope to have you back here for another one tomorrow. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care, 13.